Hi, could you introduce yourself and the role that you play in your organization?
Sure. So my name is Vivek Bhargava. I'm the CEO for iProspect Communicator. So I've been running Communicator for the last 15 years, been in digital advertising. The last one, iProspect, which is one of the leading advertising agencies in the digital space in the world, acquired us. So now we're being called iProspect Communicator. So in a nutshell, Communicator is a digital consulting firm. We help our clients how they can leverage digital to gain a competitive advantage, which is driven and delivered through services such as organic search, paid search, social media, video content production. So in fact, this is something which we're doing, which is producing content, and I believe that content is the spinal cord of all digital endeavors. So this is where I am today.
Okay, great. So if there are any 3 takeaways from this session that you'd like to share with the audience, what would they be?
Sure. So our panel discussion was very interesting. It was about how can social media be leveraged in the retail space. So I think the 3 key takeaways have been that I think brands have to evolve. Using digital is going to be very critical that they transition from just advertising through publishers but becoming quasi-publishers.
Right.
So content creation is going to be helping them because content has a sort of a triple role to play in digital endeavors. First thing what it does is content reduces paid search cost because the quality score on Google and search is very dependent on the kind of engagement you can give to the consumer, reduces paid search cost. Content also gives you organic traffic because video, YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world.
Yeah.
So content, whether it's applications or videos, they rank on Google as well as rank on YouTube, so you get free organic traffic. Third thing is the whole of edge rank of Facebook and social media platforms is dependent on the kind of engagement you give to consumers. So the more they engage on a certain kind of content, the more high edge rank you'll have, and the chances are that your wall post or your post will actually show up on the news feed. So content has become a spinal cord of almost everything digital. So this is one key takeaway that I believe that is going to be very critical for brands to understand. Secondly, I think the other key takeaway was that the way you're looking at digital today, replicating conventional media advertising strategies on digital is not the best idea. What you do is you have to change the approach. We're not questioning the efficacy of one medium to the other. We just believe that the approach that one takes to build a brand on digital is different, and it's very, very critical that marketing departments of large brands understand that that approach needs to go through a change. And there are a lot of things in this approach where content becomes a centerpiece. You use the advertising unit as a hook rather than using it to communicate the brand message. Looking at targeting psychographics instead of targeting broad demographics, etc. So we have a complete communicative white paper on the approach one brand should take for digital advertising or digital brand building. The last takeaway is I think the future is mobile. Every single panelist out here has said digital, especially mobile, is going to be big in India. The conventional advertising shifted to digital or internet advertising after a period of almost 10-12 years of it being there. Mobile advertising is 3 years, 4 years old, but that change is going to happen sooner. So I feel that the future of advertising, the kind of reach mobile advertising gives you, I think the future of a lot of digital endeavors is going to be mobile.
Okay. So what do you think about companies producing or generating their own content in terms of videos, in terms of social media space?
So, see, my take is very simple. Most of the brands, right, they need to reach out to niche audiences. So let's say if you take the number of PAN card holders in India, 32 million. So only 3% of India have active PAN cards. So if you're a mutual fund, you can only sell theoretically products to people who have PAN cards. So it's very important that a publisher cannot actually create a viable business model if they would create niche content for people who are 1 million or 2 million in size. But a lot of brands want to reach out to only people who have, let's say the number of people who have more than 10 lakh rupees income per year to 1 million.
Right.
So if you're a private equity or a wealth advisor, you need to reach out to 1 million people. No publisher can create content for these 1 million people.
Right.
So brands will have to decide what are the niche audiences they want to reach out to and create content for them. And brand building will happen through content consumption. So I don't think today brands 10 years back, 20 years back, before the advent of digital in the real sense, did not have that choice of engaging with niche audiences the platforms like YouTube, Facebook didn't exist. Now brands want to reach out to a few 100,000 people, a few million people. Don't need to depend on mass media to reach out to those few million people, because the mass media can never create that kind of niche content for them. So I think it's going to be very, very critical that brands learn how to become quasi-publishers, where they know what is being searched for, they're able to create content for those niche audiences, they're able to make sure they optimize on YouTube and Google so that the content ranks. And the best way to build a brand on digital is going to be that these brands sponsor content which gets consumed, and brand building will happen through the consumption of this content.
Okay.
This is would be my 2 bits on brands don't have a choice. They'll have to become quasi-publishers. The earlier they realize it and start doing something about it, they'll have a competitive advantage in the marketplace.
Okay. It was great talking to you, Vivek. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kanchan. My pleasure.
Yeah.